big echo in the background. If I do this, everybody can listen to me. You still can listen to me, right? And it's better for everybody because inside the student on site can really understand it without any echo too. Okay? So now once I hit the record, the sound doesn't really go in here.
Yeah, I think so. And we have to record the student and speak out loud.
Yep. So any or question you can throw into my inbox messages, and then I will try to pick it up and turn on the speaker for everybody. Now I switch the speaker off. So once you try to convert to me, I cannot hear you. Just type in the message before I can switch the sound audio back on for everybody. All right.
So can you say something a little bit?
Now it's
Sean, can you say one word? We would like to test this.
Hello, test.
Oh, it's coming.
okay. It's come here. I think it's better that way.
Yeah,
So
now it's no
anybody.
echo.
Yep. Anybody, if you really have any problem or question, and if you want to ask me, you can cut in anytime. Okay. Because our session will be like 3.5 hours today. It's going to be long, and the other part is once it's long, my detail is pretty deep. So once we spend a lot of time going on, everybody will get very sleepy. Turn up the volume. What does it mean? Not having anything. So I'm not gonna record anything because it show up that what I say today is exactly similar to most of the book in Burmese version. Okay, in Burma, anytime when I have some problem with Abhidhamma, I will dig into the library of Burmese government because it's over there. So you can consult a lot of books. You can consult a lot of detail from the library or resources from Burma. So it's the biggest information on Theravada Buddhism already. So now we are talking about DO, dependent origination. Origination, when you said, is going to be one-sided affair. Origination is something really happened. So we're talking about the sources or the cause of something. So every time we think about the DO, Buddha always said there are something, and then there is also something. There are something arising. There are also something arising. There are something missing out. There are also something missing out. There are something annihilated. There are also something being annihilated. So always dual, the dual Dhamma of discourse of the Buddha. So every time when we sit down and discuss the DO, the dependent origination, we cannot apply to the daily life. But a lot of books nowadays, they try to put DO into your workplace, into your Vipassana work course, into your effort, into your action plan. Even UN, United Nations, try to apply DO, dependent originations, into their scheme. Because 20% of anybody, Buddhism, Buddhist, non-Buddhists alike, they understand DO, part of it, but they do not really understand that DO is a fruit from Vipassana Panya only. So if you want to apply DO into your daily life, you're going to miss out the whole concept of everything because DO is uncontrollable. Dependent origination is uncontrollable. We're talking about the links of the cause and effect. So once we say DO is one-sided affair, we're talking about something happened, but we never saying something really happened along with what happened prior. So there are a lot of words. There are a lot of people trying to come up with the words for DO. So instead of emphasizing one-sided affair as a cause, they come up with the words, the semantic scheme, how to say it. So sometimes they do not say DO, they say DA, dependent arising. It's also one-sided affair. But that one-sided affair, try to imitate the words from Buddha. This thing happened, the other thing also happened. This thing arising, the other thing also arising. Now we can really infer into two-sided affair. Because if we say origination is only the cause, we don't really say about effect. So once we turn the words into arising, it's going to be a cause and something else. We do not really know. We do not know how to define the other thing because Buddha never said. He only said, this thing happened, this thing also happened. This thing's gone, this thing also gone. So we try, in our time, we try to come up with the semantic words in order for us to understand the core concept of DO. As somebody even want to really show the pair of what is the cause and what is the effect. So they put a co in between. So DO turned into DA, and from DA turned into DCA. So independent co arising. Or somebody said condition arising. Because every time when we say something happened, there always a cost. You have to pay the cost in order to get it arise. And after something arise, always something arise. So they turn the words into condition. So you have to condition it by your intention. Or somebody even said condition genesis. Now we talk about the whole scheme, the genesis of the things. So we have condition genesis. So once we say condition genesis, not only a pair, there are so many pairs, so many words in account, so many elements in account, because we come into the genesis. So the whole system of something being conditioned as a driven force for us to really bear the result today. We have the monk here. We have the monk from, sorry, Bante, where are you from?
Yeah.
Myanmar. Where are you from? Bhutan. Myanmar and Thai. So we have a mix of interracial students in here. We have to ask why. Why a mix of interracial? Why not only Thai? It's not like something that's, it's not like something like predestined, predestined, right? Like it's set to be here, so you have to go there. It's set to be there, so you have to be here. In Buddhism, we don't have like something like that because everything is driven by cause. You did the cause. So if you believe in the link, in the genesis, which is conditioned before, everybody here was connected in one way. Last life, last life, or so many past life. So once we talk to the genesis, we have make a ratio. A part of mixed ratio, the ratio mix, we also have lay person, we also have monk. Some monk, we have different practice. Some lay person, we have different practice. Sometimes we have different notion. Sometimes we have a different practice and notion. And even in the Buddhism, we have a lot of Nikaya. In Thailand, we believe in THERAVADA. Whatever Buddha said in the Tipitaka, we refer to those as the part of the conduct. But we also have the other conduct, Vajrayana. We also have Vajrayana. We also have Mahayana. We have so many things. So once we try to try to get the answer why there are so many sources of information. Because we only have one Buddha, but there are so many sources of information for us. Why? Because in different parts of the world, condition the genesis differently. So if you really look into the genesis of conditioning, you understand, oh, this is a cause. Because in Bhutan, in Tibet, you are up in the hill. So the way of life, the method of thinking would be different from person in Thailand, which is down in the field, close to the river. So way of life different, thinking also different. So we condition things differently. So once we condition things differently, our cause, which bring into the effect, will bear different effect too. We don't really have to focus on differences, because if we understand only the DO, we can get the answer why difference. Why you think like that? Why you don't speak Thai? Why you speak only Burma Lo? Why you speak Chinese? Why you only speak your own language? You will get the answer because we condition differently. If you condition in Burma for a long time, because my master Yana Gutala, I'm not sure you know him or not. He is Thai, Thai, but he stay in Mahakantayong, Yangon for like 18 years, and he is one of the Vinaya Upato Vipanka Tipitaka too. So he really can graduated in Thailand, but he didn't decide to be in Burma in order to get his education, but something conditioned him and drive him into in Burma. So he graduated everything over there until he become the the Vinayatara. So if you look into the life, different life, we get into the same scheme, which is a condition genesis. So if I'm a man, we also get into the condition genesis differently. If you're a lady, if you're a monk from this place and the other place. So differences can be answered. You can get the answer from differences through DO. It's about something that you condition, not anybody condition. You condition the DO by yourself. So the condition, I would not go into Pali, all right? We call Pati Ayo, something that we really have to recite on. So Patijja. So Patijja is something that we really have to rely on. So Patijja. So when we say there are two-sided affair, we have the cause and we have the effect. So the cause we call PATICCASAMUPPADA-12, PATICCASAMUPPADA-12, which is the cause. And once this thing happened, the other thing we call PATICCASAMUPPANA. We don't really familiar, that's fine, all right? I just like, this is the word in Pali and this is the word in Pali. So the word in Pali, Paticcasamuppada, is the cause. And the other word is the effect, okay? So what bring the effect is the cause. What the cause produce, what's the cause produce is effect, okay? Paticca palang ayati etasamati patsayo. This is the cause. Something upanang is the effect, right? So we have cause and effect. So once we put our cause and effect together here and there and there and there, we have the link, one link, two link, three link, and four link, and so many links. But in the system of the Buddha Genesis of DO, he said the link of 12 elements. So we have the links. In Burma also, I read on some book, they said the link compared to the chain, and the stronger chain is the link number 7, Tanha. Okay, because you may Tanha, the link number 7, which is the strongest bond, the link number 7, Tanha, the Lopa, the strongest bonds. So once you have the link number 7 happen to your life, it's going to be the strongest. Once you can control only tanha, other links you cannot control. So you really have to bond into your life with how to control your link number 7, which is tanha. Okay. So now, the link 12 links as a DO, the dependent origination, try to cover the Buddha teaching 4 sentences. It's from Ariya Savaka Sutta. Ariya Savaka Sutta. Oh, by the way, if you want to give this to get this handout, let me know. Okay, I'll send everything to you of Ajahn Matum. Okay, and you can reply it from her. Buddha said, when this exists, that also exists. Imasaming sati. Sati means available. Idang hoti. Hoti. Satayang hoti. It's always happened like that. Imasaming sati. Idang hoti. When this thing exists, the other thing also exists. And then he said the second line, due to the arising of this thing, that also arise. Imasa upada idang upajati. Upajati. U means up, rise. U means rise. So once you have something happen, the other thing happen. So something rising, the other thing also rising. The next one, when this does not exist, that does not exist either. So once you have something up, something that you have in an up tone will be the down tone. It's going to be disappear. Due to the cessation of this, that's also cease. So the first 2 lines try to let us understand that we try to create the links by ourselves. Try to get something exist in our life. So once you try to get our emergence of nama rupa in our life, you get the you bear the result of nama rupa too, because it existed. So once you have the nama rupa existed, nama rupa arising, not only this life, so many transmigration, a long time, born again, reincarnated in a lot of worlds. So the first 2 lines is something that we bring ourselves into the transmigration. So if we want to end the transmigration, the last 2 lines will tell us that we are the person who really can stop the traveling through the transmigration by ourselves. So Buddha said, if you can stop bringing the condition into this world, try not to condition anything in this life, one day your life will stop at the end of non-existence. You don't have to be born again. You become arahata. So due to the cessation of this thing, that thing also ceased too. So first 2 lines is a half thing. The second 2 lines is not half thing. So we have and not have, all right? If we really get into the Abhidhamma, this is Katha Vattu. Okay, Katha Vattu is something that make us understand more deeply into the Dhamma of Buddha. Okay, but it's going to be complicated. Okay, so this saying was covered. This saying were covered by the dependent origination. Okay, and the 12th link also Pali. Okay, I'll leave the bottom part out. I will stay focused with the English translation. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Avijja is the impulse or drive, a driving force whose feedback are the sankhara. So the feedback of avijja is sankhara. Sankhara paccaya vijnanam. Vijnanam is the feedback of sankhara. Vijnana paccaya nama rupang. Nama rupang is the feedback of vijnana. Nama rupa paccaya sarayatanam. Salayatana, the 6 senses, is the feedback of nama rupa. Salayatana paccaya patso. Patsa, the contact, mind contact, body contact, eye contact, every contact. is a feedback of Salayatana. So once you have the Salayatana as a door, you open the door, you get the contact. Phassa Pachaya Vedana, how you feel, is a feedback of your contact. Vedana Pachaya Tanha, this is the most important link. Because we can stop this link. We cannot stop anything else from the 12 links, all right? Only one thing that we can stop through Vipassana is Tanha. Because Tanha is the driven force for us to be here every day. We have Chanta, Raka, Dhamma, Nanti. We enjoy our bliss. We enjoy the calmness. We enjoy the practice. We enjoy what we are today. That's why it's Tanha. We enjoy it. So, Vedana Pachaya Tanha. Tanha Pachaya Upadana. Once you have it by your full of heart, bearing out to want it more, you stick to it by your feeling. It's clinging. You cling to the feeling that you like. So, Tanha Pachaya Upadana. Upadana Pachaya Bhavo. Bhavo means to born again. Bhava Pachaya Jati and Jati Pachaya Jara Marana. So it's 12 links. I'll break this link down into the boxes. So we have 12 boxes of the link. The first thing is past link. We cannot control anything because it's past already. How long? Never knew. Nobody knew how long it's going to pass. The second layer is the present link. Now we can control the present link, okay? So DO happened for us to remind us to carry out, try to incorporate sati, the mindfulness into our action in order to stop one of the link in here, which is tanha. If we have tanha, which is sobana means beautiful. If we don't have tanha, our mind will turn to sobana, beautiful mind. But if we still have tanha, which is lopa, the urge, if you have the urge in wanting a lot of things in life, your mind will become asobana, will become dirty mind. So if you want to clear your mind, starting point is you have to carry out with steam and turn the dirty mind to the clear mind or beautiful mind as sobana. So the present link and the next one is a future link. Future link, you can stop the future link only once you turn into arahata, okay? You don't really have to bear the consequences of what you conditioned before. So the first two links is a past link. In the past link, we have avijja and formation. Formation is sankhara. Kara means action. Kara from kara, action. What every time we take some action, kara means kamma. We use our force, and force by kamma is your intention. So if you have your intention in forcing a lot of things to condition everything, we call formation sankhara. Okay. So if you have avijja, because you don't know a lot of things, you condition the formation. Once you have the formation, your intention form the present link. The present link is consciousness, your mind, your perception, how you perceive things, how you cognize things. It depends on how you conditioned in the past, all right? And after you have the consciousness, you have citta. Citta never arises by itself. Always some sampayutta, always something happen as a co-adjunct together. We call it abstract and matters. I will elaborate later what are those in detail. So once we have abstract and matters, we then go on conditioning the six senses. And those six senses will condition the contact. And the contact will condition the feeling. And the feeling will condition the craving, the clinking. Then we stop the work. We stop the present work in this life. We have to bear the consequences in the next life, which are the last lines, three links at the bottom part. Becoming is once you're born again, in what kind of shape, in what kind of spirit, in what kind of plan, nobody knows. And then we have the birth, and we have the aging, and then death or deceasing. So once we have the links like that, we always condition. So the first two lines that Buddha said, how you move on with the arising, move on with the emergent of thing, will be the anuloma. You start from avijja to formation down to aging and death. So we try to create a condition, a lot of things to be as part of something emerge in this life, next life, and the life later. But once the last two line here, now if you go from avijja until death, we form this two line. But then Buddha also suggests the other two line. We go back from death down to avijja. So we have go forward and go backward. In order to end this life, Buddha said, if you understand that you will die, and before you die, you have to be sick and age. So you have to really destroy the birth. So if you want to destroy the birth, you have to stop condition last life. So you becoming will be non-existent. In order not to have the becoming, you have to destroy the clinging. You don't hold on to anything. Once you don't hold on to anything, you then destroy the craving. So once you try to destroy the craving, which is tanha, you also destroy the feeling because you don't want it anymore. Once you destroy the feeling, you don't put it, you don't put emphasize, you don't put bear it as the phenomena. If you want to destroy the contact, you have to understand that you don't really have to rely on the six senses. So if you don't you go on with your vipassana in the right method, and if you're lucky enough, you are in the country that allow you to perform your wisdom, perform your pain. Sorry, you get the attainment. You can become the arahata. So how you condition your life is to create the. But if you have antara bhava, you have to wait for 7 days, 45 days, something like that. Okay. So once you're born again, what brings us to the next birth is the nama. That nama we call patisanti. Patisanti means join. Join between the nama, which is the citta. Join between the nama. You have the new consciousness as you're born again next life. And this citta, this consciousness will continue until you die again. And then the next thing will happen to your nama is ไม่พูดแล้วครับเรียบร้อยแต่ไม่ได้อัดนะครับพี่จันไม่เป็นไรครับไม่เป็นไรพี่จันครับ So this thing consciousness will happen all over again. So it's going to be like what you create anything, you go into the loop of DO. Every time you have to go into this loop on and on and on and on. And this loop will continue. No matter how great you are in Vipassana, no matter how good you are as a person, you keep spinning the wheel and this wheel will not stop. from this point to next point, from this life to next life, until later life. Only one thing that you can stop the wheel is vipassana. And that vipassana is vipassana panya. Okay. And vipassana panya that you require is anyata vinci. The vipassana panya of arahata person only will stop this wheel. One time, you know Anantera, you know, right? Anantatera requested Buddha that after he become the servant, once he served the Buddha, he required three things. One of the things he said, anytime when he was not available together with the Buddha, anything that Buddha had as a Dhamma talk, is related to Ananta too. So Buddha related Do to Anantatera. And Anantatera, at that time, he was Sotapanna. He entered the stream of Nibbana. So he said, oh, Do is pretty understandable. So he is Sotapanna. And Buddha said, no, Ananta, you are wrong. Do is not really easy to get into your understanding like that. It's resemble, once you look into the pond, the water, you see it's very shallow. But once you try to reach down until the bottom of the pond, it's beyond your reach. You cannot reach it. Or sometimes you see the bottom is deep down, and you try to just reach your hand into the bottom of the pond. You just reach like that. So sometimes you understand it by your concept. Doesn't mean that you understand the whole concept of Genesis. Sometimes you said you don't understand anything of the Do, but you understood it already. So Ananta, just get it right away. Because only Arahata Pala person only will be able to achieve the whole concept of Do. So we can understand part of it, we can see it in our life, but we cannot apply in order to stop the spinning wheel. Okay. So now, if we really have the views like that, we have to understand what kind of view, what kind of detail of each link that be able to spin the view. In Patamaji, I think you studied this already. I think so, right? In Burma. Yeah, in Patamaji you have this one, right? When you study in Burma, right? Patamaji, Patamangya, you are already covered
Recording
this
in
information,
progress.
right? Already, right? Tamajarya also have it, right? Yep, okay. So now, the 12 links. We start from avijja. Avijja has the dukkha, vipaka. Vipaka is the result. Dukkha means not very pleasant. We bear the unpleasant outcome for us. So avijja, whatever avijja is, something that bear, something that not very pleasant to us. So an evil state that produce suffering. A lot of people try to turn it into ignorance, all right? The best people to understand Buddhism, I'm sorry for somebody who are like Caucasian or in the part of the world, the best people who would be able to understand Buddhism is South Asia only. Because we have the root of language in Burma. They even speak, Burmese people almost speak Pali already, because how to structure the sentence exactly the same as Pali. The words that they use, very similar to Pali. Sri Lanka also very lucky, because if you really read the script of Buddha, you can understand it easily. Thai people, very fortunate, because we are very similar, but we are not very lucky as the people in Burma, because they can read the script and understand the saying of Buddha right away, because it's very similar to their languages. In Laos, in Cambodia, a little bit is like part of the luckiness. Bhutan is also lucky. Nepal, very lucky, because the root of the languages that Buddha said in the past, we call pakata. Pakata means available at that time. Buddha speaks 6 languages, and he said he picked only one language, which is Pali, because it transmits all the phenomena exactly what the word say. Like if you want to have patikante, you have to go backward. It's exactly the same as the word say. Okay, you have uchungkaya, you have to say very straight up. You have back right up. Only one language that can capture the true meaning of the action is Pali. That's why Buddha select that language to turn into the teaching in order to keep the original concept of his teaching and what he found in the nature. So avijja is the evil things that very, very unpleasant consequences, not ignorance. I would say because the root of avijja is sammullaho, something that you never knew, something you never learned. So I would say avijja is unlearned, something that you unlearn, okay? And actually, there are eight things that avijja cannot understand at all. But in English version, I would say it's 4. So 4 things that avijja will not be able to understand. Avijja doesn't know. Vijja means no. Ja means no. Avijja means no, you don't understand this thing. So 4 things that avijja doesn't know. The first thing aggregates khandha, which is a suffering. Khandha from the last life, from the past, so many life, the eon life, uncountable time. Avijja will not be able to understand it. Only wisdom to understand the aggregates in the last life we call the first vijja, puppe nivasanussati jnana, the first vijja, the first subject. Once Buddha attained his Buddhaship, Arahataship, the first thing that came along with his Sappanyuttayana is puppe nivasa. So he understands the khandha. He never understands the life. He understands the khandha. And if you really want, and he really want, and if he really want to go further, what kind of khandha cause the consequences? He will do other psychic power, which is DHAMMA. Oh, this one has the intention like this. That's why he become a Brahma. That's why he become a monk. And if he really want to see what kind of action this person did in the past, he will use another special psychic. He used Tippajakku. He wants to see what kind of thing that person did in the past. And if he really want to understand the story of the thing, he will use his special power as Tippasota in order to understand and hear, see and hear at the same time. And if he really want to travel back a lot of time to see what kind of premises, what kind of life, what kind of family they have, they would, in the future, like when he tried, when Buddha give his global prediction of the other 3 Sammasambuddha from this life, because in his area, in Buddha area, there are 28 Buddha, and Buddha now we have 25. So we are waiting for another 3 before this world is destroyed. Right? So once he wants to travel like another 80,000 years, once Sri Arya Sammasambuddha emerge again, he uses Anakatangsa. So something like this, he put together and bring his wisdom in order to come into his teaching today. So the first thing that avijja doesn't know is what Buddha know. So avijja know nothing, but Buddha know everything. The second thing that avijja will not be able to achieve the knowledge is the khandha in the future. Avijja can guess. Like once we sit down with the fortune teller, they will tell you in 7 days, your car will get hit by somebody, a lady in a red shoes, in a black shirt. If you sit down with somebody cross leg to you on the right-hand side, try to avoid that person. Nobody can understand like this because it's avijja. There's no way a person can use avijja to predict anything in the future. future. All right. So the kanta in the future, the aggregates in the future, the group of 5 things I will cover today too. Avijja will not be able to reach all those kind of information. And the third thing that Avijja do not really understand is kanta, both past and future. Why we separate the past in the first item, future in the second item, and both past and future in the third item. Because in Abhidhamma, we have tikka, the 3 tikka, the system of 3 teaching in one group. Okay, in one group of teaching, Buddha has Dhamma Sangani in tikka. Not even in the Abhidhamma, in Sutta also, we have tikaya too, something 3. Like Upadana is tikaya, Lopa, Titi, Moha is tikaya too. So those are 3 tikaya, those are the tikapata, big tikapata. And the last thing, that Avijja will not be able to reach the information is Paticcasamuppada, the DO. So if you have the Avijja, there's no way you can stop the wheel. You have to go by the link, jump from the link, condition this one in order to get the other one. Once you get the other one, you condition the other one. So Avijja is a first step, the first link in DO. But actually, Avijja is not the first link. The first thing is kangaroo, asawa. Asawa is like a swarm of the very bad asawa. Kangaroo is like a pond filled with a lot of water. And if you want to throw a lot of things in, you throw vegetable, you throw garbage, you throw dead people, you throw lies, you throw hatred, you throw in happiness, and they fermented into asawa. And those asawa form the avijja because we pick something from canker and turn into avijja. So the canker is samuttana because samuttana is a basic starting point of avijja. Only one who can stop avijja is sotapanna. The first person who entered the nibbana stream, because avijja resemble or was described as a stream of polluted water. The stream will stop at Gotarapu. Gotarapu is once you are the lay, and if you want to become a holy person, those water from cankers will not enter the borderline of the lay people until you get into the holy person. So the stream of canker will stop floating until you get into the Kotarapu. Kotarapu means before you get into the holy person. So once you get the holy person, your asawa will stop. Kama asawa will stop, all right? Yep.
So that if the people that ignorance, they are unable to know their past life, which like I think was so I'm not sure maybe you can cover it in the slides. But what I want to know is actually for somebody in the reincarnation. So if they are reincarnation, we call them as actually for reincarnation. So they can like read or they can understand their past life. That for example, there is one reincarnation. He was only 10 years old, but when
Guru Rinpoche.
he looks at
Rinpoche, yep.
yeah, when he went to teaching not everything, he was his first time was being in yeah, his first time was being in Tibetan.
Yep.
So on that topic, I was asking that is that reincarnation gave up as ignorance? If they have ignorance, then why they can know or why they can understand their past?
Yep. Actually, the mind. There are 10 names of the mind. One is mana is ourself, and there are one name we call bandara, means clarity. That clarity was transmitted through a lot of places, from last life to this life, and that bandara, that clarity, also carries some last life wisdom too. A lot of people sit down for the meditation. Sometimes the emotional object up front will be something from the last life. Or sometimes we dream, we call it Upanisayo, something we really did in the past, and then it reflects through this life. Like Buddha, once he turned 7, and he sat down under the tree, and he can stop the sun by his jhana, but he doesn't really know that he did that. So Upali Thera can really go out for the lunch. The same thing here. Even the Rinpoche understand the last life. He get a lot of information from the last life, which is correct. He knew who was his father last life. He knew where he was born. He knew where he become a monk. So he can talk to his master. His master getting very old and sick. And then he went down, and then he greeted him with something very casual conversation like that. So this thing can happen too. It's not really something amazing. It's carried through to the mind. Because something hidden, like a hidden code into the mind. Like somebody, like you might be familiar with my faces while you never knew me before. Or once you travel on the plane, you see somebody and you feel like this person gave you a very good feeling. It seemed like you knew him before, but maybe not this life. So many life. But with the Rinpoche, he has special power. Some of them have special power. So he was born that way. I'm not sure how great he was, but a lot of researchers in Europa, he invite the Rinpoche from Bhutan, from Tibet, and go to the Europa in Colorado, and he tests his brain scan. He has a brain scan. He asked the Rinpoche to sit down, meditate. Do not go deep. Just get into the and he can turn the signal of his brain into like slower wave. And now they ask Pante, could you please use your chant power? Try to get your calmness and stillness until you get into your kasina. So they did kasina. Now the graph become elongated. It's got long like this into the alpha. So after the test, after research, the researcher asked those Rinpoche, what really happened when they asked them to do this? They said they knew nothing. They just did what they did in the front. You asked me to do the jhana, so I sat down and do the jhana. Do not know if I feel comfortable. Do not know anything. In the first stage, you asked me to just sit down calmly. Do not really get into deep into your meditation. So he asked, what about that time? He said he know nothing. He just know he has to focus on something like very light. So it may apply to this sense. Yogi Rinpoche might stick with it without knowing that he knew it. Okay, so he speak it out. Okay, this is I know. This person was my mom before. My dad was buried in this tomb. I ordained at this temple. My mom from a lot of places. not only this one, in the old time, while the Buddha is still alive, there is one monk, Sopita Thera. He can reincarnate. He can really think. He can travel through the time. So he sat down with his psychic power, and he said to the Buddha, "I'm not sure what really happened, but it seemed that I traveled 500 kappa, the 500 like the duration of time, and Buddha used his psychic power to read what Sopita Thera see in his psychic power. He said, 'Oh, you are so great. Last life, you were born in Asanya Sattapumi, which is 500. So what you did before 500 years, not 500 years. So he become one of Asiti Mahasavaka, because he can travel through the time with a special power like that. So without knowing what he knew, and he asked Buddha what really happened, so Buddha can tell. So me, I do not really answer the question because I don't know. I have no special power. I'm just a lay person. Even Vipassana Panya, I don't have it. I do not know how to the Nama rise, Nama ceasing. I do not know a lot of things because I do not really practice a lot. But I can relate these questions into the answer using the information from the Tipitaka, from sometime in Sopita from Vinaya, and some other area. People do things without knowing a lot of things. Like when Sujata, once she cooked the meal, right? She cooked the meal for the Buddha. He doesn't really know what she's doing, but she knew this is like, oh, this is a monk, and it kind of calm. So she went there. She doesn't know this is Buddha in the future. So she did not really wish anything from that. She just supplied the aims, supplied the lunch to the Buddha. He doesn't really know. She doesn't really know. But once Buddha turned into himself, she get Mahapala. She get a very big rewarded from what she did. So she didn't know. But once she knew, she will get a special power because Sujata just entered the Sotapanna, and she knew that Buddha said with himself, Buddha, he traveled from, we call Papaputushana, per person who entered the stream of Nibbana for Asankhaya plus 100,000 kappa. So she wants to know that. So she asked, "I'm a stream enterer. Actually, I will be born back the most 7 times, Satta Khatu Parama." But she wants to become a person who travel through the plants from this plant to the other plant until she has the full knowledge of every 31 plant in this world. So she become the Vatta Pirata Pukala. So she wants to travel that. She never knew that she can be born. She can attain. She never knew that she can attain, and then she can request for the special power. There are only 7 persons who become the Vatta Pirata. One of them is in the Tawatingsa today. So she never knew that. So once she knew that, she tried to ask Buddha why she was granted a special wishes. Buddha do not really answer, but she wants to become Vatta Pirata. So it's break the rule of Sotapanna, because Sotapanna has only 3 layers. The first layer, if they finish this life, she become the Pachima Pavika, the person who has only this life. But if she will be born again next life, she will be able to born 7 times, Satta Khatu Parama, or she can born again 2 to 6 life, so Golangola, or she can born again 1 life in Gamavajara Ekapiji. So she tried to break the rule. So she asked Buddha, "Can I travel through the plants in order I can count 31?" Buddha said, "You cannot do 31. because once you get into Suthavasa, you cannot go out from Suthavasa. You have to finish in Suthavasa. And then she said, okay, I will travel until my ability reach, and then I will be gone after so many plans. So what she did, she doesn't really spend the time. I'm sorry, I get out of the story, but now it's related to nobody did. I mean, once you get something hit in your luck, you never knew. You cannot plan. So once she last life, she was born in Manusa, in our human being, and then she wants to travel every single plan. So she went to Jatu Maharajika, and she was a Sotapanna. What she did is Atimutikalam. She crashed her beast to breath and died from that plan. And to Tawatingsa, and so she observed everything. She Atimutakalam, so she catch her breath and she become a dead person, a dead Tevata. And then she went to Yama, to Sita, Paranimita Savati, and then she went into the Rupachana Bhumi. So she went to the third, second, third, the fourth, and she's in Aviha, Atapa, Sutatsa, Tusasi, until Akanita, and then she annihilated herself into a 10%. So now she never knew. So if you ask why she has a chance to be granted to travel more than 7 times, never knew. Nobody can tell. Only Buddha himself can tell. Only 7% who are allowed, but no, not anymore. Because after 1999 BC, in our Manusapumi, in our human being womb, which had the David show, can have the Pupenivasa, Tipajaku, Tipasota. Nobody in this plan will have it. So special power, once that person has special power, they will not attain anything as Arahata anymore, because in Sutta, Potami Sutta, address, Buddha said exactly, after 1999 years, in Manusa, in human being, if you attain the Arahataship, you will be attained through Sukha Vipassaka, no jhana, no special psychic power. But if you are in our human being scheme, if you want to have like special power along with the Arahataship, you have to be born again somewhere else, not in human being form. So something like this, nobody knew. Only Upanishayo can tell. Or it's different, more. Actually, what I said, Upanishayo is Patana, is also the condition thing, okay? It's also the scheme of something like into one thing. So answer your questions. Why? Rinpoche understand what really going on with his last life, and he can point out, this is my father before. This is my teacher before. I live in that house before. Maybe it's Bandara. It's a clarity of the mind, and it's the knowledge travel through the last life until he perceived this life. So he cognized it. He reflected. So he doesn't really know. He doesn't really have an intention to cognize it. He doesn't really have intention to understand or think about it, but it just happened. And once he said it out, and the fact become true, that's why he is a real person. Yeah. In Thailand, also there's somebody like that. I think it's from Burma, the Vipassana master from Burma. I don't remember the institute. It will come up. Okay, that one institution teach you the Vipassana, and along Vipassana, they said after Vipassana you get the information from your last life too. You get like a part of Pupenivasa Nusati Jnana along with your Vipassana Jnana too. Very, very famous. Sorry, I forgot the name of the institute. Not Mahasi, not Pa'ao. Yes, Pa'ao Sayadaw. Yes, Pa'ao Sayadaw. Yes, thank you. he says something like that, right? You get part of the Pupenivasana Dusatiyana too. So you can travel to the life without any intention. So if you intend to understand your last life, you will not understand it. So it's come intrinsically. It just happened into your with bandara, the clarity of your mind. Okay. Once your mind is clear, it's very powerful. Okay.
One thing they are ignorance.
Huh?
If they have ignorance, how they are minding clear?
The clarity is of mind is only through vipassana. He might be able to get a vipassana panya.
So,
As
was they just get clear of their mind?
Yep.
So if they have ignorance, how their mind can be clear? If
I mean-
they have ignorance, how their mind can
no,
be clear?
I'm talking I'm talking the foundation of the mind. I'm not talking about how clear the mind is. The foundation of the mind can say, I mean, we call it white the synonym of the mind. There are 10 synonyms. Vinyana, mana, mano, bandara. A lot of them. I pick one of them is the clarity. So with the clarity of mind, it's so powerful. You don't really have to do anything, but if you have the backup, if you condition your mind like so many lives before with wisdom, your mind, your clarity of the mind will be incorporated with panya, and that panya reflect through the clarity. It's just like a crystal clear glasses, and you have panya at the back. So once the light shine through the clarity of the mind, panya also shine through too. So if you do not have wisdom or you don't have panya, it's going to be a clear crystal. Without any panya, you will not get any special power or special anything. But at the back of Bandarating of Rinpoche, maybe he accumulate. He has it like so many life until he's born this life, and he has that thing. And once he has the clarity of the mind, like a clear crystal mind, and he has panya at the back, so panya support the clarity. Once he transmit the light through the life today, he might be able to see a lot of it clearer than us. Why we don't see the vipassana wisdom? Because we only have the clarity of the mind without panya. So the light shine through, we just like go on, moving on with the whatever we try to do. So we condition again. We condition our effort in order to reach the vipassana panya. If we do not have this light, we might be Rinpoche next light. We do not know because we condition ourselves already. So condition in a good way, condition in a bad way, really depends on our intention. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, very good question. Very good question. I tried to avoid using Abhidhamma in order to answer the deep information like this. All right. So if I go into Lakkhana Jatuka, the 4 characteristics of each thing, and explain from that point, nobody will understand. Except for Pante, because Sammajariya also finished. You finished Sammajariya, right? Yes. Sammajariya learn everything I said already. Because you have to sit yeah. Not deep like this, right? Because mostly will be Pali, right? Sammajariya mostly will be Pali. Yep. Pali is to the extreme, very difficult Sammajariya.
I think it's a variant from this world.
Yep. So most of the monks that I knew from Myanmar, there are 3 institutes that finished. One is Piwangsa, right? Piwangsa.
No, I have been.
No, I mean that's Piwangsa, one of the Piwangsa. And then Dhammacharya, and then the other one, the government supported one, Langala. Lingala, yes, Lingala. So among those three, Brahmacharya and Apivangsam, very difficult. Yeah, very, because I read one of the question and Brahmacharya, they said just only one question because they have like 10, right? And then they get you the answers. They ask you, what arhata cannot destroy? Just only one sentences, just one question, and the answer only one word. The question from Brahmacharya exam, they ask you, what arhata ship cannot destroy? Only one thing that arhata ship cannot destroy. Oh my God! And they ask you to give this examination was in 1993. This exam is in 1993. I read the question, and the question is, what is only one thing that arhata ship cannot destroy? Only Buddha himself can destroy. That's the question. So how could people know? But actually, there's an answer. Only one person can answer. Thai person can answer.
I'm not sure that but I know more that was there are two men descendants. And I think the ones really by the emotional obsession and then the ones that are cognitive obsession. So the other ones cannot overcome or destroy this cognitive obsession. Only Buddha himself can destroy. In our Mahayana or
Yep. Vasana, yeah, Vasana. Yes, this Vasana, because we have to dig from the Vinaya, right? It's in Vinaya. So, oh my God, you ask this kind of question is so tough. How can people you have to read everything in order to answer just one word, Vasana, right? Only Vasana. So in Theravada, differently, okay? Okay, let's move on. So sorry, I just break everybody down. So now it's 2.5 hours. I'll keep going on because I cannot go deep because I prepare a lot of information, right? So those are 4 things that Avijja will not be able to understand. So now we know if we try to be, if we really want to achieve our vipassana, don't really be supported if you do not go anywhere, because we feel our mind filled with a lot of avijja, and vipassana, only thing vipassana try to achieve is to understand aggregates. So if you don't understand aggregates, you will not understand vipassana at all. So why we don't understand aggregates? Because we have a lot of avijja. So we have to lessen the avijja down in order to understand aggregate. The blockage of our vipassana panya is samulaho, which is the avijja itself. Okay, so we will not go anywhere until we can achieve the understanding of avijja, because avijja block us from ability to understand khandha aggregates. Okay, now the second link. Yep.
So Buddha assumed avijja is the nature of any human being that was born.
Again, the questions again.
When a human being is born, then Buddha assumed that the human being has avijja. That's the basic assumption, right?
No. Human being was born due to, not because of it, due to, not we are not avijja. Due to avijja. Avijja is unlearned mind. We never knew. We condition anything as life until we become this life. So if we did not condition because we understand this khandha, like I'm going to talk about upatava head. If we want to see things, if you want to see the pictures, we need to have an eye, right? Or we have an eyes. Two eyes can see, one eye also can see. And if you want to see, we need to have a picture, which is a sight. And if the light is down, we cannot see. So we need a loka, which is lighting. Like MCU building is always still here, right? But once we walk past, we never saw it. So we need an intention. So once we turn the information here into the khanda, there are 5 khanda. The first one is I itself, is rupa or matter. The picture itself is also ruparom. Also rupa. Aloka. Aloka is pakatupa. It's something that we create ourselves to be born in this world. So if we did something bad, like we kill Alhata, last life, we did the Panjana Anantariya Karma, like we kill our dad, we kill our mom, we kill our Arahata people, Arahata monk. Once we born again, we born into the scheme of Lokanta Niraya. Lokanta Niraya. Niraya means hell. Hell. Lokanta, Anta means the border. So Lokanta is a farthest from the earth, farthest from the sun and moon. So Lokanta, farthest from the moon, farthest from the sun. So it's dark. So once we're born there, we don't see the light. It's something like we are blind all the time. But now we can see the light. It's something where we did good in the past. So we born into the world where is the light from the sun and the moon. And the last one, intention. It's sankhara. It's our intention. We try to condition it. So then we can see we have the eye, have the picture of the sight. We have the surrounding light. And we want to see it. We intended to see it. And then we can see it. So now, if we really look into the action of seeing, do you see anybody in here? Do you see Pracha? Do you see me in here? The component here, no me. You are here? No you. Only the elements. We have the element combined together in order for you to see things. So now, if you want to interpret it into the khanda, those 2 things is the matter. Those 2 things is the abstract. So Vipassana try to break this rule, try to break the person out from the equation. If you try to think about, I feel so great, I feel the bliss from the meditation, you have an eye. Your eye is avijja, not you. The eye is avijja. You are not avijja. The I is something you condition as its existence. Actually, people do not exist. It's just rising and then ceasing, rising and ceasing, rising and ceasing. We never really, there is no we, okay? We call it non-self. Non-self is anatta. It's non-self, it's anatta. We don't have ourselves. It's only the action we call upattava hetu. something that combine to each other as a scheme of seeing. The same way, you learned this before, right? The same way as listening. If you want to listen to something, you need an ear. Or ear. And then you need sound. If it's noisy, you will not hear it. So you need some light air. So you need a room, which is a quiet room. And noise everywhere. If you want to listen to it, you have an intention. There's one niraya, there's one hell, we call Tuma niraya. People scream because it's like you burn a house, like I see, burn the house and scared, so they scream, we call Tuma niraya. So once you are in Tuma niraya, you cannot listen anything at all, because the only thing you listen is the screaming voice. But now you condition yourself into a world where you can listen to anything. If you want to meditate, you can go down and meditate. But if you are in the Tuma niraya, Tuma means fume, means smoke. So if you are in that niraya, if you in that hell, there is no way you can go down, sit down and have a quiet mind, because it's always screaming around you. So now you condition yourself very good until you're born this life into a human being's plan. So if you try to break it down, so ear, our ear, and sound here is the matter. And those two things is the abstract. So in order to understand or break this link, I said before, you need Vipassanayana. So if you need Vipassanayana, you have to remove the I, you, they, out. You have to remove the piece of mind out. You have to focus on matter and mind. Your piece of mind is only an abstract. Okay?
Without clear consciousness, don't forget about the sounds.
No. You have to need a sound.
Yeah.
Your ear, his ear.
So, ear consciousness. How ear alone can hear
Yeah.
sounds.
No. The listening is the consciousness. The seeing is also consciousness. Okay? Chakku vinyanam, sota vinyanam. So in order to get the action of cognize the emotion, you need all those three things, four things, all right? So in Vipassana, we do not really count on like peace of mind, something like that, because I mean, in some other places, it's okay to have that, but not in Buddhism, okay? Like I said last time, I'm not sure you are there, but you are there, right? So the contribution of Buddhism, 5 things. The first thing that come to you is a calmness. Calmness is one of the contribution. The second thing is jhana. The third thing is psychic power. Now, if you don't want to be born again, you will need makha. We call makha. And if you want to require the phala, once you enjoy the moment of nibbana, and the last one is emancipation. So those are 5 things, which are the contribution. The green things, you have to be born again. The blue thing, you don't have to be born again. So this one and that one separate itself as 2 of the outcome. if you want to be Pachima Paviga, the person who do not really have to be born again, you stop the conditioning through the O from attainment. Because you try to destroy your kilesa, you pull away the string of sanyojana, you break it away. You try to get the construction of the house out from your samsara, from your lifespan, okay? Like when Buddha, once he get the arhataship, he just like say one thing. Aneka jati samsarang santapitsang adipitsang kahakarang kavesanto tukkachati punapunang. He said he tore down the construction of the house already. The tanha, the craving, will not have a place to stay in my heart anymore because he destroyed the house. Once he destroyed the house, punapunang means again and again. He do not really have to be born again and again anymore. So that's why once he attained, he doesn't really have a peace of mind or anything. He just knew that he doesn't really have to be born again. So why he can assure that he doesn't have to be born again? Because he see the matter and mind in the systematic scheme of Vipassana. He doesn't really have to go to like, you have to walk slowly and get to the change of the posture slowly. He doesn't really have to teach like that. But why we have to teach like that? Because we need to set this lesson to the students to be able to understand the slower paces of how to get into the Vipassana Panya. So if you really understand how to do Vipassana Panya, you will not boast yourself as you have to go like this, otherwise that way is good or bad. You have to go like this, otherwise that way will not progress into the arupa jhana, something like that. Because only thing that you have to focus is matters and mind. That's it. Because it's the first jhana, nama rupa pariceta, you have to separate, you have to segregate the mind out of the matters. That's Vipassana, need only those two things. You do not need like peace of mind. Because peace of mind, we call nikanti, is block the Vipassanupakilesa. Okay, it's block the mind. Okay. Come back. I'm not teaching Vipassana.
Yeah. My question actually is very simple. You gave a very sophisticated answer. My question is,
yep.
How do you define the word addiction? Can you give a simple English sentence
okay.
to define it?
Avijja come into three things. Avijja is the root. We call it moha. Moha cause akusala. Amoha cause akusala. What is akusala? Craving is akusala. Anger is akusala. So it's the root of craving. Why?
Yeah, I'm so confused because the answers you get are contrasting to each other.
No.
Okay, let me ask my question.
Yep.
Avijja, you said that's the reason why human beings are born. Right?
Yep.
Okay, but now you talk about avijja is the root and we.
No. I'll tell you. Avijja is three things. The first one is the root. The second one is the object. It's something that we can think about. It's object. If you want to do good thing, if you want to do bad thing, you need avijja to do it. Okay. And the last one is something to destroy. It's kilesa. Something that you have to destroy. Okay. So you ask me, can you give me the example? What is avijja that brought us into this world, right? What is the power of avijja that brought us into this world? Okay, that's the question, right?
Because in English, they use one word.
Ignorance. Like I said, avijja samulaho doesn't mean you ignore something. Because you don't know. If you ignore me, doesn't mean you know me, right? If you ignore me, you know me already, but you ignore me. Is that right? Is that right?
If they don't know, ignorance, they don't know.
Because you have a chance, you never have a chance to know. That means you don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know is don't know, right? But
For the explanation I got is that
Yep.
human beings are ignore all the extent, for example, the extent of suffering. So that's the translation from English.
Yep.
So
Do you know suffering?
yes,
What is suffering?
people feel
No. Suffering, it doesn't stay long. Suffering in Buddhism, that means dukkha, doesn't mean feel pain.
who feels
No. Suffering doesn't mean I'm painful. When you feel good, it's also suffering. Because it doesn't stay long.
feeling. It's not suffering, right? It's feelings. Whatever
Feeling is part of the suffering.
you feel, according to Ajahn definition, whatever you feel, it's suffering, right? I feel happy.
Now I ask you, what is the suffering? You said when you feel pain, right?
Dukkha, yes.
Yeah. Dukkha doesn't mean pain. No. Dukkha doesn't mean pain. Ajahn can answer that. Dukkha in Pali, what does it mean? No, I mean dukkha, suffering. Dukkha. What does dukkha mean? Appear and disappear. That's dukkha.
Yes. So you see, according to the Venerable, he said not to know not knowing the truth, not knowing the truth. Okay, so here is my question:
The truth is,
who is the subject?
know who. Know who.
Because he said not to know. Who doesn't know? Who is who?
There's no who.
Then why you have a word? No.
Because we try to get you into this. We try to get you as a person who don't know. Try to get me as a person to say no. Okay? So we try to get you into the equation. Then we cannot talk about sufferings. Because suffering is, we don't know what suffering is until,
Who are we?
because we have a we, so we don't understand suffering. Suffering is dukkha, means arising and ceasing. That's it. It doesn't stay long. It doesn't mean pain, happiness, something like that.
So
Suffering doesn't mean you get a cut and you suffer.
like nature. Can you say it's like nature?
Okay, one thing. Let me say this. It might offend a little bit. Sorry. You have to take away what you know out. It's wrong. You have to take away what you previously understand out of first.
Here to learn.
Yeah. And then, so you have to stick with whatever I'm saying today. You don't have to believe me, okay? But what I say is, suffering is not when you feel bad. It's not when you get cut from the knife. It's not suffering. Even you have jhana, it's also suffering. Because it doesn't stay long. After you die this life, jhana will not go away with you.
So in the nature.
No, don't say about anything else. Talk about suffering first.
Okay. Does suffering exist?
Yeah, suffering exists. Because it's happened and it's gone.
It's like a rising.
Rising and it's gone.
Disappearing.
That's suffering.
Rising and more, then there's not the existence of struggle.
Because it exists, but we cannot control.
So what is the suffering?
You see, there is one ambiguity. First, you need to find the ambiguity, right? So, without knowing the ambiguity, how can you say ambiguity?
Exactly.
Okay.
He was saying that. You are saying like to come is arising or ideas.
There to witness.
No who.
Rising and then disappearing.
No who. In Buddhism, in Theravada, there is no who.
So if there's
Okay, Buddha said, if it's right, the nature is up and down like this. Okay, if it's up and down like this, we cannot control it, right? Once it's right, it's right.
No, I'm saying that, okay, look at my hand gesture. Up, down.
Yep.
Up, down.
Yep.
Who decides this is up, this is down?
Avijja.
And up is a person?
No, it's not a person. It's phenomena.
There is no phenomena. That's the emptiness.
Sorry, you cannot say there is no phenomena. Because we're talking about phenomena now. I wish we could hear the
basic concept of emptiness, right? There's no such thing. If you want to talk about such thing, there would be some identity.
No, if you want something like you can see clearly, you attain already.
No, there's no such thing. So, okay, Ajahn, the reason why I'm asking this is
Yep,
that
yep.
if we know the reason why we or why Avijja is there, if we know, okay, I mean, if we understand the reason why Avijja is there, then we can also,
Because we don't see it.
how is the solution to eliminate?
No, we cannot see it. We only see the avijja once you become arahata. Understand what I mean? Because they say in the first place, the person who can stop the spinning wheel.
Someone who is enlightened, as the enlightened person can see Avijja, right?
Cannot destroy it. If you want to see it, like if you see me, you know this is patha, right? If you do not see me, you will not know. So if my name is avijja, if I name my name is avijja, if I do not present in here, you will not know this is avijja. Is that right? If I'm not here at MCU, you will not see me. Once you do not see me, you do not know what kind of person I am, right? Avijja is the same thing. There is no way you see avijja. You only see avijja once you become arahata. Because once you see avijja, you know avijja, you can destroy avijja. Well, if you don't see it, you don't know it, there is no way you can destroy it. Okay.
So suppose we have Avijja, okay, and people cannot see it. People who are
No, arahata doesn't mean a monk.
people who are not arahants, they cannot see Avijja. So far so good. Is my statement correct?
Mm.
Okay. For people who are not arahants, they cannot see Avijja.
No.
Am I right? The statement is okay.
Yep.
Okay. And for those who are not arahants, they are affected by Avijja.
Yep.
So far so good.
Yep.
Okay. So now my mission, okay, my mission is to make those people arahants. They will not be affected by Avijja. So far so good.
You have to make yourself. You cannot make people.
Just like Buddha, okay, Theravada,
Buddha never make us.
teachings. Right?
Yeah.
So when you become Avijja, you become arahants.
No, Buddha never said he teach us to become arahata. Because we have to make it our own version.
Yeah, no. Buddha, based on Buddha's Dharma teaching, and then you learn, and
Yep.
then somehow you become arahant. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so again, here are my statements. The first one, for those who are not arahants, they are affected by Avijja.
Yep.
This is correct. Right?
Yep.
Okay. For those who are not arahants, then we give them dharmas, we give them many tools, and somehow they become arahants. That's the second sentence. So much so good.
They will have to vipassana. They have to practice. Yep.
So my conclusion will be, when they become arahants, then they will not be affected by Avijja.
That's correct.
Okay, so then we focus on the second statement. The second statement is we try to make people, give them Dharma teaching, give them a lot of tools, teach them become whatever it takes, they become arahants. So they will not be affected by Avijja.
That's correct. They can get away.
So
Yep.
that's the most important thing. The most important thing is to do, because when you know the other Avijjas, you get by definition, you understand. It doesn't know because we are still affected by Avijja.
No,
Here, my
we cannot see. Even I tell you what it is. I show you the picture of avijja. My avijja and your avijja are not the same. It's
see, I said for the understanding of Avijja,
Yep.
it doesn't matter. we consume it takes a lot of time to understand avijna. My way is more pragmatic, more practical. We focus on how to become an arahant.
Yep.
When I become an arahant, I don't care what it is. It
Right.
doesn't matter. They will not affect me.
Yep.
I become an arahant.
Yep.
And then the next question will be, how can I become an arahant?
Vipassana, you have to go through the right path.
So there's so much time, try to understand that.
No, but if like I told you, if I'm a avijja today, and I'm not telling you that there is an avijja available, you will not know it. Is that correct?
Well,
Because the effort here in MCU, we try to get you into the names. You try to get into what available, and then you have to be in search for anything by yourself anyway. Because it's only 16 times of class meeting, right? My point is not to force everybody to understand or believe what I say, but anything I say, not from my. I have something to back it up. I have abhidhamma to back it up. Not only my knowledge, not only my thought, not only that I think this is right. No, I have something to back it up. As I told you before, I'm not brave at all to tell everybody that I don't have vipassana panya because I don't have it. If I have it, I would not be sitting here. I'll be in the wood. I'll be in the same place as Rinpoche. I'll spend most of my time vipassana already because I saw it already, but now I don't see it. So my effort is try to make sure that I stay with the books. I stay with the teaching. I don't see it. So I have to really stick with it and have to stay firm with it. Nobody can use a thought to destroy the Buddha teaching. And this is Buddha teaching. If we come up with a scheme, like I told you, the contribution, if I really go deep into the Sammullaho things, like in Pali, we use Mullaho. If I really go deep into whatever Buddha teach, like in the primitive time when he was available, it's going to be most complicated thing because he gave you everything and then you have to dig it up from what you see. So now, if I really just try to enjoy the practice because you don't know avijja already, there is no way that you don't have to waste your time to understand what is avijja is because you don't see it anyway until you are arhata. I mean, that's it. That's not the point of the classes. At least I just let you know this is something really happened in the Tipitaka. Okay, once the Pitaka says something, I try to reflect it. So this is not my thought. This is from the book. Everything that I said, I back it up with my knowledge. I back it up with my scholastic knowledge. I never thought of myself.
คนในซูมก็ไม่ได้ยินมีสิทธิ์อ่ะ
ไม่เสียงนักเรียนครับนักเรียนถาม
แต่ขอ3 นาทีแล้วครับแต่ผมขออนุญาตปิดไมค์อาจารย์ตรงนี้ก่อนครับ
ฉันติดไปถึงนี้
หรือว่าต้องใช้ไป 1 2 3 4 5 no echo now. Yeah.
Oh, the solution came a lot later. Okay. Just now, our PhD student asked about how we can capture the moha. How can we really capture? We can recap what kind of moha and why we have to understand, why we have to waste the time. Try to understand moha, avijja, even though we don't see anyway. So I said, at least we need to see this framework. We need this framework in order to understand, to destroy it. If we do not see it, we have to attempt, we need some attempt to make sure that we see it later, okay? It's very good question because most of the answer that I have is not about what I think. It's about written down in the Tipitaka. All right. So avijja is one of the first thing that we really have to touch it. Because we don't see it, that's why we spin the wheel all the time. We start from the link as avijja because we don't know it. Only person who knows is the person who see it. And the only person to see it is arahataship. That's why it's very hard to destroy or break this chain. I mean, it's give our hope because we have the guideline. Like we have a map to travel. We never travel to the places, but at least we have a map. If we be able to reach that place and follow this map, we follow the Buddha teaching. We knew that we can stop the wheel. DO will not affect us anymore. But then if we do not really have any chance to see the map, there is no way we see the detail of the things that we need to remove our transmigration. Okay. So do I answer your question now? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So we move on. Okay. So we move on to the second thing, formation. The formation sankhara is the feedback from avijja. So once we have unknown factors of avijja, the second thing that we have is sankhara. Sankhara can be four things. The first thing is impermanent. Impermanent. It's coming up. You don't see it? Oh. Is it okay now? Okay. The first thing is, oh, you can require this handout, say. Oh, and you can incorporate some details into your writing too, if you require. The second one is aggregate the mental form. I'm not going into detail because sankhara is 50 things into the detail, and it takes like a year to understand 50 things. And then yavata sankharasa gati means there is always when we push ourselves hard enough, we will get the reward from whatever we try, from whatever we plan. And the last one is the thing that is conditioned from avijja, because sankhara. Okay. It's going to be too grammatical, so I'm going to pass it. Okay. Those two things, we never knew it happened because in the past, all right? So in the past, we have avijja and sankhara as part of the links that we always spin and created. We never knew when, but then we created already. Now, once we born into this life, we have consciousness. Consciousness is citta. There are two stages of citta. The first step into this world before the start of our life, citta. That citta means from last life, we move into this life. We move into the plan of dukkati. Someone who is the animals, who is the ghost, who are in the hell, niraya, we call tukkati. Kati means go. Tu means bad, go bad. Tukkati, go bad. The second one is we. Gamma sukhati, the person who go good in a gamma vajra way. And then the second, the third and fourth thing is people who have jhana. And the second state of mind is the pavati jitani. When you see, when you hear, when you smell, when you taste, when you have bodily contact, and when you think, those are the mind consciousness that we have. Again, this course in Abhidhamma will take you 6 months, only consciousness, okay? And then the next thing, once you have the consciousness do not really arise by itself. There is some co-adjunct, something associated, we call cetasika, okay? It's going to take another 6 months. I'm not going into detail, okay? The abstract that we are talking now can sum into 3 things. The first one is feeling, vedana, and the second one is perception, sanya, whatever you remember from this life, from last life, and the last thing is sankhara, we just mentioned before. And the matter is a karmic form. This is the most difficult thing in Abhidhamma, the form, the matters. So your ear, your eye, your nose, your tongue, your body, your heart. Everything I wrote down in these pages is invisible. You don't see its matters. You don't see it. Okay, it's abhidhamma. You don't see it. The thing we see the sapawa is up and right. We saw the suffering of this thing. We don't see itself because there is nothing in this world. Only up and down, up and down. Okay, it's going to be too complicated. All right. And then 6 senses, where the consciousness happen in these 6 senses, we call it door. Okay, from where your mind, when you see, reside, where your mind, when you hear, reside, until where the mind you think reside on. Okay, and then impression is one you contact. When you see the pictures through your eyes, we call it contact. When you hear the sound through your ear, we say it's for the contact. When we smell, when we taste, we get the body, and then whatever we think about the story, we call it impression. What kind of impression you have? And then once you impress with something, you feel according to whatever you impressed. So the feeling crop up from what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you think. So those are the feeling. The feeling has its own versions of Vedana. Vedana, we can spend like a lot of time understand Vedana through Abhidhamma. Okay, I'm going to cover that. And then craving, the urge of having, the urge, the sick urge of having. The first one is craving for visible, the craving for sound, craving for smell, craving for taste, craving for bodily contact, and craving story and dhamma. So we call it rupa tanha. The first thing that vipassana act upon is rupa tanha. So we have to understand the rupa in order to avoid craving for rupa. So rupa tanha is the first thing. The second thing is sattha tanha, the sound form, the craving for the sound, and kantha tanha, rasa tanha, potappa tanha, and dhamma tanha, the last thing. So in vipassana, we have to focus on this because this craving happen to us all the time in general time of our life. So we always have craving in all 6 categories at all time. Vipassana will stop us from craving because, as I say, in Abhidhamma or in Vipassana, we aiming for 2 things already. We aiming for understanding the matters and abstract. So once we understand matters and abstract, we don't crave for anything. Because we take away the I, you, me, my, yours out. We don't really say focus with I. This matter is mine. This abstract is mine. This matter is your. This abstract is your. In Vipassana, we cannot do like that because the ultimate goals of Vipassana is matter and abstract. Those are the things that do not belong to matter and abstract at all. So Vipassana, we only need that. It's boring. Vipassana is not an amusing thing to do because we have jhana, the 6. We do not really want to go further from that. So once you really perform the Vipassana yana until you get into the wisdom, it's very hard to go through the Nibbita yana. It's very hard. It's not very easy. It's not pleasant to do. Okay. The next thing is once you crave for something, you stick with it. We call clinging on sick thing that you understand that you have the urge for clinging. If you can stop craving, clinging will not happen to your life. After you die this life, you becoming something next life. So something next life, we have two stages. The first one is Kamma Bhava, is when your intention play the most important role. Your intention to be born again as something else, we call it Kamma Bhava. And once you're born into the plan, we call it Uppatpatti Bhava. We break into three categories. I will not go into detail, okay? It's going to be too difficult. And then once we're born again, we have the birth as the next burden. The birth will be two kind of births, the abstract birth and the matter birth. We call Nama Patisanti, there are 19, and Rupa Patisanti 1, okay? Combined together 15. You don't really have to understand, okay? And once we're born again, we have to age and date. So age and date, we have the phenomena that being decay until disease. So if we really understand the whole point as anyway, we have to be dead. In order to be dead and permanently dead, we have to understand how to destroy the dead first. So if we do not really die next life, we have to go through avijja. So if we want to destroy the dead, the first thing that we have to destroy is to have to destroy the avijja. So we become the permanently dead until we are the non-existent. It's very hard. Somebody said we can incorporate the DO into your workplace. Impossible. We cannot do that. Because if you want to destroy the break the chain of something unprogressive, they said we have to understand the cause of the thing, so we understand the cause in order to see the effect. In order to get the good effect, we have to break the cause into good and break the cause into bad. Now we require only good effect, so destroy the bad effect. Now we condition anything. It's so different. So in order to not condition anything is the ultimate goal of DO. So instead of create something or condition anything, Buddha encourages us to stop the link, stop the cycle. So in the cycle, we start from the round, the starting point of each cycle. In DO, anything can be cause, anything can be effect to each other. So the first law we call Kilesa Vata. Kilesa Vata because those are Kilesa. Okay, I will not go into detail. It's called Kilesa Vata because you don't use it anyway. The second one is the Kamma Vata. It's an intentional force. Becoming, it's Cetana. Formation is also Cetana. And the last one is the fruit, the result. We call Vipaka Vata. The rest of it are the Vipaka Vata. This information are in the most of the books already, so go for the detail. Now, once we understand the wheel of the O, in the wheel of the O, we can understand it through perception. We have to perceive it. We have to attempt to understand most of the information from the DO. We do not know once it happened, but once it happened, we have to know. That's why we have to incorporate sati, mindfulness, into our perception. Then perception can be separated into 3 levels. The perceive mean know. This word mean know. And the know in Pali is nya. ya, and ya. So there are three levels of how to know things. The first one is vinyana. So vinyana, spirit that we know means no. Doesn't mean special spirit. Doesn't mean very holy spirit. No. The spirit that we know in Buddhism is vinyana, to know thing. Ability to know thing is vinyana. So if you cognize, if you go into the cognition process, we call vinyana. And vinyana do not arise or exist by itself only. It incorporates abstract into it too. The second one is sanya. Sanya. Sang mean complete. Nya mean know. Know completely. You know completely when you can memorize it. So once you can memorize it, you know it completely. We call cognition, coding, or memory. And the ultimate ya, which is wisdom, we call panya. So how to know and understand the DO links of 12? We need wisdom. So wisdom, in a way, we call somebody with wisdom is somebody with a moha, which is opposite to moha. And moha, we call is avijja. In order to break the chain, we need panya. And that panya that we have supposed to be panya from vipassana. So we need vipassana panya to destroy the chain. So wisdom is amoha. Once you have wisdom, you will understand the aggregates from the past, aggregates from the future, aggregates from the past and future, and PATICCASAMUPPADA. You will understand DO right away when you have panya, okay? This according to Buddha, not from me, okay? If you have panya from vipassana panya, at least you touch the base, you will touch the base of DO. If you do not have the vipassana panya, there is no way you will understand the basic information of DO, okay? And then the cognition process, we have 6 area or 6 type. When we see, we hear, smell, taste, touch, and thinking is going to the process, the thought process. So difficult for us, okay? And then, like I said before, the cognition elements, so we need 4 things in order to create the vinyana, in order to create the consciousness. I'll go past it. And then sanya. This play a very important role. Our memory hurts us because we memorize something, we always intended to get along with the chain of 12 links. Because sanya, memory of the sight, sanya in the sound, memory of the sound, order, taste, contact, and thought. Like in vipassana, the first time that we did vipassana and we feel good, we want that goodness. We need the same goodness to happen for the second time, for the third time, fourth time, and 5th time. Or if we have like easiness, for the first time, we need to go along with the later time. If we see the clearness from the first time, we need the same clearness for the second, the third, and 4th time. Buddha said, no way. Vipassana object never be the same, cannot be the same, because it's going to 3 characteristics: anicca, dukkha, anatta. And dukkha means suffering. Suffering means does not stay long. Cannot stay long, can stay like a brief moment. So on the first time you did the vipassana action will not be the same at the second and the letter. Totally different. If you see the same thing, it's wrong approach. Okay. And then once we're talking about the ultimate wisdom, like I told you before, the wisdom can bring in the contribution in levels like this. There are two levels, mundane and super mundane. Mundane will get the calmness, jhana, super psychic powers, and once you receive all those kind of panya, you have to be born back again. Annihilation of defilements, bliss in nirvana, and non-existent, you don't have to be back again to this life. So panya can create into two groups: the reincarnated panya, the reincarnated wisdom, and non-reincarnated wisdom. Okay. Now we have to talk about the aggregates, because the perception also suffering, and aggregates is the important part that Buddha said the pure suffering is aggregates. There are four aggregates. The first one is form. The second one is feeling. The third one is perception. The fourth one is mental formations. And the last one is consciousness. Why? Because it doesn't stay long. If you have the matters like your nail, your hair, your teeth, one day it will fall off and go away. You have a very fresh skin, very stretched and smooth skin. One day those freshness, very smooth skin will be gone. Once you turn into 55, 100, 120, you have to be gone from this life. So the form, the matters will not stay long. Long in this sense doesn't mean 2-3 days. Long means from just 1 second is long enough. Okay. Just 1 second is too long already. So it doesn't stay long. At one time, it's rising and it will go away. That is the rupana lakhanang. Rupana lakhanang of the form means it doesn't stay long, suffering only. The second one is feeling. You feel good, feel bad, feel sleepy, feel boring. It stays when you have that kind of feeling, and that feeling is gone too. So it's called suffering. The perception, you remember one thing today, tomorrow you forgot. And then you forgot something from the last life. That's kind of perception that you cannot retain. We call it suffering. The mental formation, when you have a good feeling, bad feeling, that's mental formation. When we have sattha, we have faith. When we have agony, we have angers. Those kind of mental formation is gone once you don't have it. So we call once we have it and once you don't have it, the time between have and having it uncontrollable, we call it suffering. And the last thing is consciousness. Sometimes you see, sometimes you hear, sometimes you smell. Most of the time, the action of the consciousness happen only one of the time. You see one time, you hear one time, you eat one time. So one thing happened, the other thing also happened. One thing is gone, the other thing also gone. So it's not stay forever. It's called suffering. So if you try to make sure those 5 aggregates belong to us, belong to you. We put a you, us, I, my into the equation. This suffering will form into the clinging already. So you try to grasp it. You try to cling on it. You try to cling that this life, you have a chance to do vipassana. And then my vipassana, we have to go away until next life. You have to cling with it. Or today I have this kind of stillness in my vipassana, and I try to cling on those stillness in vipassana until the next time. Those are called upadana, the clinging. So aggregate itself is suffering already. The action of clinging to the aggregates is called dukkha sajja. Dukkha sajja is the truth that we are clinging to the aggregates. We call Dukkha Satcha. So those are the things that we say in aggregate. So after understand the links, 12 links, the perception and aggregate, we try to make the summarization into each of the links. There are 12 from avijja. Avijja is also incorporated into our thinking. So it's a perception and it's also the aggregates too. We know perception and aggregate are suffering. In order to make us not be able to be born again back into the world, we have to destroy the change. So the first thing that we have to destroy is avijja, because it's suffering, is perception and aggregates. The formation, the consciousness, abstract matters, also perception. Perception is suffering. Aggregates also suffering. Move on to the letters, elements. Those three links, also the perception, also the aggregates. So those are perception and aggregates at the same time. So those are suffering. So we have to make sure that we can destroy it at one point. And then craving also the perception and craving also the aggregates. Those are the suffering. In order to stop the chain, stop the link, we have to make sure that we can stop the suffering. The becoming, the birth and aging and death, also suffering, because those are the perception and aggregates. In order for us to make sure that we do not really have a chance to not be born again to this life, we have to break the chain from understand the aging and death until we can destroy the causes, until we destroy the causes, until we can destroy the causes, until we really see avijja. Do not really lose hope, because at least avijja crop up to us every day. Every single word, every single thought, every streak of movements, everything that we do in our life, avijja always driven us into working on something good, something bad, something even better. Avijja drove us into most of the things that we decided to do, but we don't see it. So anything happened to us, but we don't see it, we have to contemplate. So if we really have a chance to contemplate the vipassana 1 day, 2 days, 7 days, 7 months, 7 years, 7 lives, 7 transmigration, at least, if we do not stop, a chance to see avijja is there. But once we stop, or we try to stay out of the way, we try to think outside of the box, not according to the Buddha, there is no way we can say avijja. So in order to understand and contemplate the vipassana, right, we have to stick with what Buddha said first. Don't have to really follow what he said, but at least try to think that these are the things that Buddha said. And one day, once we really practice until we see this kind of information in our mind, then we can confirm this is the right path of working on your vipassana. Okay? At home, do you have any question? Let me cover some of the questions here. Could you kindly share the PPT with us, Ajahn? Yes, I will leave it up with the coordinator, okay? It would be really helpful. I wish we could hear. I'm sorry, it's too bad. It's too bad. We're losing 20 minutes of the golden time. I mean, thank you so much for the question. I mean, a lot of people want to convert into what you thought. You feel free to throw in the question in the box. Okay, now is a Q&A time. Our student here, our PhD candidate here asked a question, and also we asked Pante here, who has the Dhammacharya, to share with us what are the etymological knowledge on the Pali grammatical, which is very important. Okay, one thing I do not want everybody, because I'm 60 years old already. I've learned Pali quite a bit already. I've learned Abhidhamma quite a bit already. I learned Sutta, I learned Tipitaka quite a bit already. And I know it's time consuming for everybody to really start off learning Pali, but I encourage, in order to understand the word from the Buddha, you need at least some basic background in Pali. Okay, do not really go dig deep into a lot of very hard grammatical. There is one grammatical book we call Kaccayana Sutta. Kaccayana Sutta, Patap Rupasiddhi. Okay, those are the words formation. It's like when you want to compose the word, what kind of element that you will need. Pali is very important. Don't spend a lot of time, like 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, like us, to understand Pali, but at least try to get some basic background. Okay, and Kaccayana Sutta, Patap Rupasiddhi, very easy, not very hard. It's somebody who understands French, we understand Pali, similar. We have 8 conjugation. We have to turn into 8 level of the words. Okay. Thank you for. It is illuminating. Army Imani say it is illuminating to hear the dukkha is about disappearing. My understand was that the rising and falling comes as good news. No, it's a bad news. When we are practicing sati, how would this connect to impermanent? Oh, good question. If you have sati and you have if you really contemplate the state until you have the ultimate acquaintance of the rising and falling, the first thing you see the falling. You always see the falling of the thing. Like now, you walk. You see end of the walk first, and then you think. You see end of the thing, and then you walk again. So every stroke of your thinking, you only see one action at a time. So you see the walking, you see at the end of walking. So you see the connecting things. So what you need to ask yourself when you're contemplating in a walking meditation, why you think. And then once you think and you start walking again, ask why you walk. Why I'm walking? Because thinking is gone. Why I'm thinking again? Because walking is gone. Now, this kind of thing we call the deceasing emotion. I'm sorry, this is a vipassana. This is not vipassana classes, but the question related to that. So we see the decision emotion. The first thing that we see, okay, and we see is in a continuous platform until once you are very familiar with the decision, you see it's broken down into one action, broken down into one action, broken down into one action. So there is no blitz in vipassana. You don't feel like you are in a very calm, the most calmly state of mind. No, because your mind keep changing. You will not feel like it's so comfortable walking this posture. No, in vipassana we don't teach like that. We teach only this. You see a stroke of thinking, a stroke of walking, a stroke of sitting down, just stroke like that. And you have to keep continuing on changing the emotion object into whatever happening. So whatever arising in your thought, that is the vipassana panya. You cannot retain it until today, tomorrow, next life. And there is no pattern to what you have in the development of vipassana because it keeps changing. Okay, it changes all the time. That's why we call it khanika. Khanika samadhi. Because it briefly happened, and it's gone. Everybody will have to go through as a step, as khanika samadhi. You cannot retain the same calmness because there is no calmness in vipassana. Even you are climbing the rock, and then you go on top of the rock, and the thunderstorm so hard, you can also do the vipassana contemplation, listen to the sound. The most quiet place, the most bustling places also are good for vipassana. Because if you want to keep your mind at the same pattern at the time, being calm in doing a lot of things, that's not vipassana. You are losing your way. Ajahn, could you spell the name of the book you mentioned? Actually, it is the book that I mentioned is Vajrayana. Sutta. Atho akkara sanyato akkara patayo eka chattali sang tatho thanta sala atha tayo matta tayo nasa anye tika sesa payanchana wakha pancha somanta tang iti nikhahitang para samanya payoke tita matho upa matho tita masarang sarena viyochaye na ye purang yate iti santi kape patamo kando. Actually, in Amazon, also available from Titsana Thera from Amazon. Okay, he is to Tipitaka. You know him, Ajahn Titsana. You know him. He to Tipitaka Thara. He is in Texas. Yeah, Burma. He is very close to Tipitaka number 9. Yep. This is a basic Pali Sutta. You can go through and understand why we call Manussa. There's a clue into there. And if you progress from this one, you can go to Patharupasiddhi. Siddhi means complete. Complete. Patharupa. Rupa means form. Patha means word. You can form the word in order to complete a sound, okay? The question for repeating, okay. Any more question? So I will leave this handouts to the program coordinator or the program director herself. So if you really acquire to have some basic information like this, I use 2 sources. The first one sources I use is from Path of Purification. If from Path of Purification, if you do not understand Abhidhamma, do not attempt to read the Path of Purification because you will not understand it. And the second one, Abhidhamma Sangha. Okay. So those are my sources today. So everything that I dig deep down into my lectures are from those 2 books, mainly Buddha Kosa Thera, Path of Purifications. In Mahayana, we have Vimutta. Very similar. Mahayana, Vimutti, Makha, part of the Vimutti, okay, and the annihilation differently. So this one is Visuddhimakha. Good books if you really want to grab some knowledge on how to progress with Vipassana. At least you have to read that one, Path of Purification. You don't really have to buy it, okay? You can download from the internet. Go to this website. Okay, I'm not sure. Pali, I think it's Pali, or I'm not sure. It's from Burmese government. Yeah. So go for this one if you want to get more information on the one of the links in DO, Dependent Originations, or if you really want to get more detail on each of the links, you have to go here. Abhidhamma Sangaha. It's not easy to turn things into Abhidhamma. Okay, at least my knowledge is like 20 years back, so it's different. Before I came to this stage, I get a lot of confusion of how to turn the lectures into understandable point of view. Even to try to make it simple, it's turned into a very complicated lecture already. So I understand some of us might not be able to capture all the details that I really mentioned, but at least I ignite the hope for everybody. If you really want to get away from this life and you want to become non-existent, do not have to be born back again to any kind of form of life, at least you need some basic background from the books. And the books that we understand that will be valuable in order to trace us and bring us to be in search for the excellence of how we become Arhata. Is one of them is this book, Path of Purification. Very good book, 1,023 pages. It would be like a week for us to read, but it could be complicated for somebody who do not really understand Abhidhamma, because it's like commentary for Abhidhamma. Buddha Thera from Sri Lanka, he is very good in Abhidhamma. Oh, the other thing you can also refer to is Linda Panha. The question of Milinda Thera. Okay, Milinda Panha. Very nice book. It's all about the story of conversation between a monk and a king. They would ask, what is suffering? The same here today. This is very sharp questions because not everybody to understand. And the question is answered the same way I answer in this book, Milinda Panha. What is Vipassana? Do we see all the time? Can we kill and become a holy person? Something like that. A very challenging question. Is Q&A session. So look at it. Milinda Panha. You can download from internet. Very nice book to read, and it gives you the information of basic knowledge in Buddhism. Okay, very interesting. Okay, are we okay here? Okay, sir, are you okay here? Are you okay here? Yes. So everybody in the classroom okay here? Okay, thank you so much. So if we do not really have any let me see from our audience at home. If we do not really have any more information to share, I would call off for the class today. And I hope everybody enjoy Vipassana further and don't understand, not a point, but at least you need to have some basic background in whatever I lectures today, because I do not really use my own version of knowledge. I refer everything from the book written down, at least from the year 900. The book that I mentioned, Path of Purification, written 1,900 years ago. So it's pretty worthwhile to look into it. Milinda Panha, I'm not sure because there is no source. And then Pali that I refer to is commonly used in Thailand and is commonly used especially in Burma. Okay. Now, we call for the class. Thank you so much, Pante, and I hope everybody enjoy and be having the blessed time of your life in order to break the links of 12, especially for the craving. Satu, Sawadee krab.
Recording stopped.